Hi, and welcome to Lost and Found. My name is Daniel Ciraldo, and we're pleased to share with you our first online program looking at lost buildings of Miami Beach and uncovering history found. If you like what you see, please consider becoming a member of the Miami Design Preservation League on our website at mdpl.org. Today we'll be looking at West Avenue, a popular neighborhood in South Beach known for its beautiful sunsets and views of Biscayne Bay. We're heading to 8th Street and West Avenue to see what's there now and whether we can find any hints of what was there before. 800 West Avenue is now the site of the South Bay Club condominium, which was built in 1966. The building sits directly on the bay, near the entrance to Miami Beach from the MacArthur Causeway. Because of its prominent location and the year the current building was constructed, it's likely that something significant was here before. Let's head back to the MDPL Art Deco Museum to take a look at what we can find. One of our prized possessions is an old Sanborn map of Miami Beach from the 1920s. Sanborn maps were made in part to help fire insurance companies to understand the value of assets within their areas of coverage. Today they are a great resource for those interested in history and discovering buildings that were lost. We have the actual book, but many Sanborn maps are available for free online through your local public library. Flipping through the map, we hone in on 8th Street and West Avenue. It's a large structure and the label says Fleetwood Hotel. This is an important first step in our journey to the past. Through our research, we were able to find this article from February 1924 featuring a rendering of the proposed Fleetwood Hotel. The article mentions that the hotel would take just 1 year to build. It would be 14 stories, 4 stories higher than any other building in Miami, and it would have 350 rooms. The Fleetwood may have been impressive for its size, but it was even more impressive for what took place there. In particular, its use of a powerful emerging technology that was transforming and connecting the nation. In this rare footage of an aerial of Miami Beach from the 1920s, we can see the Fleetwood in the distance along West Avenue. And to the very left of this video, we can see the Fleetwood Hotel with a large radio tower at the top. Indeed, just a couple of months before the scheduled opening, the Fleetwood Hotel obtained approval from the Department of Commerce to have its very own radio station. The station would have a 350-meter wavelength, which was so powerful that it would be heard anywhere in the USA and perhaps the Western Hemisphere, according to this article from the Miami Herald. The station would be known as WMBF. Although this stood for East of the Mississippi, Miami Beach, and Fleetwood, the early pioneers dubbed the call sign as Wonderful Miami Beach, Florida. This would become a powerful tool to promote the Fleetwood Hotel in all of Greater Miami to radio listeners across the U.S. and beyond. Today we'll focus on what happened at the formal opening night of the Fleetwood, January 15, 1925, which also coincided with a grand formal broadcast from the new radio station. Commodore J. Perry Stoltz, shown at left, built the Fleetwood Hotel in just 1 year. He was an entrepreneur from the Midwest, much like our better-known city pioneer Carl Fisher. Stoltz invented the Go Ball, which was a precursor to the pinball machine. He made a fortune at amusement parks and parlayed it into real estate, owning apartment buildings in New York City. The Commodore was an avid boater and visited Miami Beach in the early 1920s, taking part in different regattas and races that took place in Biscayne Bay, adjacent to West Avenue. Here we see rare footage from the 1920s showing boaters racing on the bay. In the distance, the Star Island Water Tower is visible. When construction began on his new hotel at 8th and West Avenue, the Commodore parked his yacht at the dock and stayed there to oversee its construction. The formal opening dinner and broadcast was the talk of the town, with 1,000 dinner guests expected for the extravaganza, many who were also taking part in the inaugural opening of the Hialeah Park racetrack earlier that day. This was the height of the South Florida land boom of the 1920s. The broadcast was a night to remember, with several important local leaders taking part in the high-tech fete, transmitting their voices from the dining room of the Fleetwood, up the radio tower, and across the land. It was time for Miami to shine. Now, let's recreate some of the broadcasts based on a newspaper account of the evening. This gives us valuable insight into what was said during the broadcast by some of Miami's early pioneers. Mr. Bryan spoke of the future of Florida and laid particular stress upon the development and possibilities of Miami and Miami Beach, and those acquainted with conditions wondered what Los Angeles radio fans said when Mr. Bryan remarked casually, "This is a community more substantial than any ever built by oil wells." Mayor Snedegar said he was proud to be mayor of Miami Beach, and then proceeded to relate a portion of Mr. Bryan's famous speech, The Cross of Gold, concluding his address with an invitation for all to come to Miami Beach. The call letters for the station have a special significance because the initials signify "Wonderful Miami Beach, Florida." I deliver to you this evening a message of warmth as the newest and largest hotel at Miami Beach. The Fleetwood throws open its hospitable doors to the pleasure seekers of a nation. A few short hours ago, a warm southern sun, splashing red as if the brush of a master divinely guided, painted the west with a golden hue and went to rest. When this sun came out of the sea this morning to surprise early bathers in the surf, the U.S. Weather Bureau thermometer stood at 70 degrees. As this sun reached the halfway point of its journey across the heavens at noon, the measure showed 73 degrees, and at sunset, the register stood at 70. Mr. Sewell then proceeded to outline the warmth of Miami and Miami Beach. He spoke of the wonders of development here in such a few years, told of the growth of a city, and referred to Miami Beach, Coral Gables, Hialeah, and other communities as children of Miami, ever watchful to help each other. Garwood addressed the unseen audience, and particularly yachtsmen throughout the world, telling them of the winter haven to be found in local waters. The surprise of the evening were the singing numbers rendered by Lydia Orlova, who possesses a marvelous soprano voice. Her first song, Marquita, composed by Victor Schertzinger, was rendered in a very sympathetic manner. And now, while we don't have a recording today of Lydia Orlova's impressive performance, we can enjoy the song through a 1922 recording by opera sopranos Elsie Baker and Olive Klein. As it plays, we can imagine radio listeners across the country and beyond cozying up in a warm blanket to enjoy the operatic sounds and imagery being transmitted from wonderful Miami Beach, Florida.